Welcome back to the Heritage Show. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Lei Wang, the first Asian woman to conquer the Explorer's Grand Slam, climbing the highest peak on every continent and skiing to the North and South Poles. In this episode, Lei shares how she found the courage to pursue her unique path, how she discovered her passion, and her approach to setting and achieving big goals. We also dive into deeper topics like aging gracefully, breaking career ceilings as Asian women, and confronting fears and mortality. Get ready for an inspiring conversation filled with wisdom and practical advice to help you live boldly and purposefully. Let's get started. Welcome to the Heritage Show, Lei. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm truly honored to have you here to share your story and insights with us.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such an honor to be on your podcast.
So my first question for you today is, what's your mission and what impact are you trying to make in this world?
Well, my mission is to empower more people, step up their leadership influence to become a more powerful person in their life and in their community. And particularly as the Asian woman, I want to empower more Asian women. I want to see them step into the leadership spotlight and make the biggest influence they can make in this world.
Wow, thank you for sharing. I resonate a lot with the mission that you just highlighted. It's very similar as my podcast mission as well, which is to empower Asian women to live a fulfilling life. So my next question is, I noticed that you didn't have a traditional mountaineering background and only started climbing in your 30s. How did you transition from a career in tech and finance, then become a world-renowned adventurer? Was there a light bulb moment that sparked this incredible change in your life?
Yeah, so I actually never imagined I would switch my career track or do something so dramatically different. So this was not a planned change. But just like things in life, one small step led to another. So in 2004, inspired by some mountaineering documentaries, I had this just wild dream one day that, hey, what if someone like me who grew up purely just only no study, had no athletic background, go to do something like climbing Mount Everest? I just literally thought that would be a crazy, wild daydream, just a fantasy. And my real expectation at that point was, hey, I need to change something about my lifestyle. I need to take charge of my health. I want to build my fitness so I can enjoy a healthy, productive life for a longer time. I wasn't really thinking, hey, I'm going to become a mountaineer. I want to become a healthier person.
Yeah, I can relate to that as well. Sometimes a big dream or a big achievement could be just inspired by a small event, such as a documentary. Actually, when I become a free diver, the inspiration was also from a famous movie called The Big Blue. Talk about this change and pursue a different life path. As someone that grew up in China, I understand this typical life path that expected of us, which is to study hard, go to best university, work hard, get married, have kids, and all of that. So I'm curious to know, how did you find this courage and strength to pivot from this default path and pursue your own unique calling?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, so it was not a decision to make a big change. It was more about one small step led to another. So at the beginning, when I started to pursue this daydream, I just said, all right, I hope I can keep on going to a gym. So I started joining a gym. I joined a hiking group, joined a running club. And before I knew it, I was taking climbing classes. And soon I realized climbing had become my passion. In that point, I started to feel a little bit scared because I feel, where did this thing come from? I wasn't supposed to be someone who go climbing, go hiking. I was someone who's supposed to be a perfect employee who work in a corporate career, that kind of typical life path we expected of ourselves.
Mm.
Then I realized at that point, this is the first time in my life, out of nowhere, nobody gave me the hint, advice, or suggestion that you should look into something like this. So I felt, wow, this is the first time in my life I need to really make a decision for my own life. Because when I look back at that point, I realized all the past decisions I made, even though I was the one who decided which school I want to go to, which major I want to study, which job I want to take. But the truth is, at that point, the so-called decision making was only making a choice among A, B, C. You have school A, B, C. Which one you want to go to? It's simple. Which is the best one? And then you have the job A, B, C. Which one do you want to go? Yeah, it's simple. Which one is the best job? Which one give you the best future? Right? So, and also that time criteria is so simple. The so-called criteria was more about how likely you're going to be successful, what the economic return might be, what your social status might be. Not so much about what exactly do you want to do, who you want to become. So when climbing showed up in my life, that was the first time I was presented with a blank paper. And all of a sudden, the splash of beautiful climbing showed up on the paper. There's no ABC. You have to make a decision. What do you want your life to be? Who do you want to become? So I realized it's not about which one is the best decision, which is the decision the right or wrong. It's about, do you have the courage to make a decision for your own life? Do you have the courage to face the risk, face the uncertainty? And I realized that is what decides who I become and what my future will be. Then just say, I'm going to follow the correct answer, follow the correct path, which was set by other people. Instead, I have the courage to pick my own direction, make my own decision. And that will give me unlimited power in my future, that I know if I made the wrong decision, I have the courage to adjust the course. I have the courage to face the reality, and I have the courage to create my own future. So that will ultimately change who I become. So that's why I decided I want to take the chance, because I want to become a person who can take charge of their own life.
Wow, I really love the courage that you mentioned. I think this is essential when we want to make a change, when we want to achieve transformation in life. Talking about passion, as you touch upon, I find this is such a fascinating topic, but not everyone is fortunate enough to find passion perhaps earlier in life. Similar like you and me, we were following this designed path for us. And only later, for instance, you had this light bulb moment of realizing you can make your decision and choose a different life path. So could you share some advice to women who are trying to break free from societal expectation, how to find their passion and purpose in life?
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. This is a great question. Actually, it's one of my favorite questions when people ask me, because I know there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception about the passion. A lot of people think passion is something just right there, out there waiting for you. And if you're lucky, you stumble upon them. If you're not lucky, you may never find your passion all your life. The truth is, passion is created by
Mm.
yourself. So if you have any curiosity about something, don't think, oh, is this my passion or not? It just go follow your intuition, go explore it and see if you really like it. If you like it, you're going to learn more about it, you're going to try more, and you're going to make progress. Then one day you're going to find yourself, oh wow, I'm in love with this. This become my passion. So don't force yourself to say, hey, that person had a passion in sport. This person had a passion in creating something. That person had a passion in writing. Can I try this, try that? It's like parent pushing their kid to learn piano or go play sports. You try everything, but don't try to force yourself into it. Follow what you naturally are curious about. say, if you're interested in cooking, so what? Go try it. Maybe you found you have a talent in creating innovative dishes. You have a special talent in different tastes that you create a dish that nobody can create the same kind of taste. So you never know what is your hidden talent, what can be something you truly passionate about. Sometimes people will think we can only have one love in our life. You may have many different things you can be passionate about. So don't limit yourself. Don't rule out anything. Try one thing and follow it. If that's something you like, follow it. If not, try something different. And then you keep on exploring, stay curious. You're going to find something you love. And when you find something you love, you need the courage to keep going to try it, to make it your passion. Otherwise, you just try something, oh yeah, I'll forget about it. Tomorrow I'm going to try a different thing. Then you don't stay long enough in one thing, then that may never become your passion. So just keep trying it. And if you find something you love, keep trying more of that.
Yeah, I love that, especially on the point about creating your passion and use curiosity, use your intuition. That's actually how I found freediving as my passion as well. And you also touched upon a very interesting point on keep exploring and not limit yourself to perhaps one passion. And when I think about passion, I often connect passion to another question, which is purpose. So how can we actually use passion to lead to our purpose? How can we effectively find our purpose?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. Also, this is really related to how we discover our passion. So purpose, sometimes maybe because you brought up, you always see your parents struggle with this or see people in your community struggle with that, that inspired you to, okay, this is my purpose. That is fine. But sometimes maybe you live the with so-called mundane life, you follow the typical track in your life, and you are not really sure what is your passion. Then don't force yourself either. Don't say other people are all saving the hungry baby. Other people is all go to save the animal. You don't have to do the same thing other people are doing. Really look into what inspires you, what kind of problem that you keep on thinking, I want to help solve this problem, or you feel so much pain to see, oh, I hate to see those kind of people suffering. I want to help them. Or this the problem you want to solve for the world. So there are many ways. Just see what piques your interest and resonates with you, and that something connects to what you're passionate about or you're good at. So don't try to force yourself into other people's shoes. Really listen to your heart. Only if you're genuinely interested, care about those issues, can you make it your purpose. Like myself, my purpose was evolving all the time. Frankly, before I discovered climbing as my passion, I didn't think I have a purpose at that point either. I was just think, oh yeah, I'm going to follow this career path and be most successful as possible to become a professional woman in this field. But that time I wasn't really thinking that's my purpose, that's my calling. It's more like that's my path or my prescribed future. So as I got into climbing, when I look back in my life after a few years, I thought, wow, I realized how much I changed. And at that point, I felt so passionate that I want to change other people's spirit, attitude, to because I saw how I changed that made me so much a happier person, so much more positive, life become so much brighter for me. I wanted to change that for other people. That's why I want to go into speaking to inspire other people to find their passion, to pursue their dream so they can live a happy life. And now today as a speaker and a coach, I feel passionate about empowering those leaders because I see so many leaders, especially Asian and women who are struggling in their career path, how to break through their so-called career ceilings, how to step into the road they really want to pursue. So I feel compelled. I want to empower them, inspire them, show them how they can overcome those obstacles, advance in their career. So that now it become my passion and my purpose is to help to empower more people to step up in their leadership roles, to amplify their leadership influence.
Wow,
There's so many gold in just these answers. I really love it. Especially I love the part you mentioned about looking into the problem that you want to solve for this world and follow your heart. And when you pursue your passion and when you make change yourself, there are more clarity will come into your life that help you clarify and find your true purpose. Love that. And a very interesting topic that I would like to explore with you, which is about the career ceiling and certain racial or gender bias or challenges as an Asian woman living abroad and trying to achieve a fulfilling life. How would you suggest them go about breaking those limits and those obstacles? Yeah, so this is similar to the like mindset shift you needed to achieve anything. So for example, when I first started climbing, I had this mindset, I'm too small, I'm only 5'1". I'm too small, I cannot compete with those people who are so big, had long arms, long legs. So I give myself excuses, think so that is almost like people say, oh yeah, because I'm a minority in this industry, I'm the only woman in this room, that I have a career ceiling, I have a disadvantage. But if you can flip that mindset to say, okay, despite this, how can I move forward? So for example, in my climbing, when beginning, I was thinking, oh yeah, because I'm small, so of course I'm slower than you, of course I'm weaker than you. Well, if that as an excuse to myself, then I allow myself not to push hard. Then I would stay at the weakest one in the team. However, if I just shift my mind, thinking, okay, despite that, how can I overcome that? Because the mountain will not lower its height for you because you are smaller. Just because you're smaller, you cannot say, I don't need this gear. I don't need to carry those things for my climbing. You need to do the same thing. The only solution will be, how do I get stronger so I can handle that? How can I train myself so I can climb the mountain of the same height? Also, if you look around, when we were thinking, oh, I have this disadvantage because I'm smaller, I'm the only woman on the team, I'm this, I'm that, then you're limiting yourself. And if you look around, you're going to see there's the people who had other disadvantage. People may have a disease they're carrying, or people who face other kind of challenge that you don't have. So everyone have their own challenges. They are overcoming that. So never set your own disadvantage as your weakness or as your excuse. Only think how I'm going to solve it. So that come back to a lot of time in our working place, people think I have a career ceiling. I have a disadvantage as being the only something, some person like this in this room or in this industry. Why don't you turn around to make it an advantage? Hey, why cannot me become the first person with this disadvantage to break through this ceiling? Why cannot me become the first person who didn't have this advantage but can achieve this milestone? Use that as your fuel to push you forward. Don't let that hold you back. So that's my long answer to what I see as a career ceiling. I think any ceiling actually come from our own limited mindset. If we go beyond that, say, despite that, how can I break through this? How can I be the first person to break through that? Then you're going to see no ceiling.
Absolutely. I really agree with you on this point. Oftentimes, I found a lot of us have limiting beliefs that limit our ability to make change, to challenge status quo. And I really love that the tips that you mentioned about use your disadvantage as your advantage and change the framing of the sentence from I'm the only woman to I want to be the first woman to achieve ABC. This is really, really helpful. Thank you so much for sharing. Talk about breaking the limiting beliefs and achieve extraordinary achievement. You are one of the greatest example as you achieve
the Explorers Grand Slam and climb the top peak and ski in both poles, I'm really amazed by how can you achieve this in such a short period of time. Could you share with us how does your goal setting process look like for such a big, seemingly impossible goal?
Yeah, thank you. So when I first started this wild daydream, I had no clue how to really achieve those goals. So I just, all right, I need some milestones or checking points to see how I can possibly achieve that. So I just, when I say, okay, my daydream is to climb Everest, then what do I need to do before I can climb Everest? I have to climb some other mountains, obviously, and I have to climb some mountains that is easier to gain the skills so I can train myself to be up for the challenge of Everest. So I just did some research, found out some other mountains, which I by chance discovered the 7 summits. That's all right. So 7 summits. If I just line up the 7 summits from the easiest one to the hardest one, so I can train for each one, I can gain a skill, upgrade my skill with each new goal, then hopefully that will prepare me to eventually be able to handle the challenge of Everest. So that's my rough plan. So I have a daydream, then I have a rough plan without the details. Then I just go back. All right, then let me figure out how do I climb the first one? What do I need to learn? So I just break down the big goal to smaller goals without knowing all the details. I only know big milestone I need to hit. Then let me focus on the first one. How much I need to train, how much I need to learn in order to meet the requirement of the first peak. So that's how I did. All right, I need to go out hiking every weekend. I need to learn how to survive in the winter. Oh, I need to learn how to camp. Oh, I need to learn how to do the rescue. So I just discovered what I need to meet the first requirement by what do I need to learn? What do I need to train? Then I figure out, all right, I need to learn this. How do I learn it? I need to find out who are the best instructors, mountain guides, training classes, where I can go to learn those things. So I just gradually narrow down to all the requirements and find out, all right, so I can sign up this class. Then before that, I need to make sure I read this book or I learn that thing on my own before I can go to this class. So I just went backward to make my plan. Then, all right, then I need to, something also, now short term is I need to keep on improving my fitness. Then I need to commit to go to the gym, go to do hiking, do running consistently over the years. So it's just making a concrete plan that you can follow that is only aimed at the nearest milestone. Just don't go crazy to say, oh my God, it's too overwhelming. I don't know where to start. Only aim at the first one that is reachable. What we say, smart goal, right?
Yeah.
Smart goal does not work for big and audacious goals, but SMART goal is really great for making concrete steps. So like my SMART goal will be, all right, next year at this time, I want to go climb this first mountain. Then next will be, by this date, I need to take this training. By this date, I need to secure this equipment. So your SMART goal guide you on smaller steps, but keep in mind what's your long-term dream, what's your long-term vision.
Yeah. And this perfectly answered my next question, which is how to really break down a big, ambitious goal into smaller, achievable goals. From what I heard from you, which is to have a rough plan, but really focusing on the milestones and use the milestone as the guideline to guide your action, your learning, and being consistent, and use SMART goal to achieve those milestones. And you are already getting closer and closer to the big goal. Am I right? The summary?
Yeah. Always keep in mind both your long-term goal and short-term goal, but your effort should be focused on the short-term goal.
Yeah, absolutely. My next question is also related to the goal, which is how to make decision when you have a goal in mind, such as you want to climb the mountain Everest, but in the middle,
you have to balance the being persistent, yet still need to preserve your safety and well-being. Because as a free diver, I encountered a few times where I can, of course, go pushing, but at the same time, there might be a risk of going too much and harm myself. So how do you make such tough decision on the mountain facing life and death?
So I think to make a proper decision in those situations, first of all, you need to have a good understanding of your own capabilities. Because when you first start out, let me use the example of driving, right? When you first learn how to drive, even the car is moving at 5 miles per hour, you probably think that car was too fast.
Yeah.
And that time you're like, oh, I'm going to slam on the brake. If the car is rolling out, it's just like 10 yards, you want to stop it. But when you become a competent driver, you feel 80 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour, not a big deal. That is not risky. But you probably would think 200 miles per hour is crazy. But for like a racing car driver, they probably, yeah, I can handle 200 miles. So you know what's your limit, what's your capability, how much you handle. Then you be realistic with how much risk you can handle. So I think when we lost our mind of overestimating our capability, then you make a bad judgment about how this risk compared to your ability. But
Yeah.
first, on the other side is no matter how well you judge yourself and how well you try to manage the risk, things can happen. A normal driver who has no problem driving 80 miles per hour may one day have an accident. So there's nothing you can stop from doing that. But that's not the reason you stop doing it either, because things will happen. But you, in general, you do need to have a realistic understanding of yourself so you can make the proper decision that is like on the same level that what you can handle.
Yeah. It's really essential for us to have a good self-awareness and understanding our capabilities. And of course, knowing there's a risk, but make calculated risk within our capabilities.
Exactly.
And talking about risk, climbing the highest peaks all over the world must be one of the most dangerous activities. And statistically, mountaineering is extremely high risk in fatality. So knowing this and experience the risk, even facing the possibility of death, has those experiences shape your perspective on mortality?
Yes, definitely. Because I think when you are keep on playing on the edge of life and death, knowing even just every day, if you just like say the driving, you go out and drive down highway, you never know what happens. Knowing we are very fragile as a human being. Doesn't matter you're doing a risky sport or you're just trying to live a peaceful life. Anything can happen any day to anyone. It's just so as a climber, we see that more up and close. So we are more vividly living in those kind of moments. So we know we need to treasure our life. We need to make the best of everyday life. So it doesn't matter you're doing sport or not, you're doing anything risky or not. We just need to appreciate our everyday life much, much more. Every moment, live to the best. Every interaction you have with make it the best moment. So you never regret, because you have no control what's going to come to you next in your life. Only you can do is live the best right now.
Yeah, totally. And I think this moment that you shared about being grateful, having this life in this world, is such a beautiful reminder for us to live the best of our everyday life and treasure the moment that we have. On this topic, what practical advice do you have for our listener on coming to terms with our own mortality and also dealing with the potential of loss of our loved ones? Because as we age,
we have our parents are aging, our grandparents, perhaps our peers. So what's your approach towards this topic?
I think because if you understand life and death is just a natural occurring in this universe that come to everyone who is alive will die at some point. To you, to me, to our loved ones, to whoever we want them to live forever, something going to happen. So if we prepare that ahead of time mentally, accepting with peace, knowing it will come to everyone. So it's not a question about why me, why now, why so early. That's not in our control. Only thing we have in control is right now. Live our best life ourselves, spend the best time we can with our loved ones, leave a happy impression, make every interaction a happy experience for everyone around us. That's all we can do. Beyond that, it's not in our control. We just have to accept it.
Yeah. Also reminds me of this gratitude you mentioned earlier, living in this present moment. It's so essential for us to appreciate life and be prepared for all the ups and downs and uncertainties in life. Thank you for sharing. Again, we touched upon this topic of aging as athlete that who's constantly pushing your physical boundaries and have so many more adventures and goals that in your life. How does your self routine looks like, especially as a woman over 40? I have the same challenge to maintain our vitality, but still age gracefully.
So this is kind of similar to what my realization was when I started climbing was I need to take charge of my health right now. So doesn't matter how old you get to, you still have to keep on taking control of your health by eating the right thing, proper life routines, and doing exercise as your capability. And it's important to listen to your body. I think the one pitfall I would caution people against is like, oh, I used to be able to do this. I'm really not happy because I couldn't do it anymore. No, we change all the time. You used to be able to live that way. You used to be able to run that fast. Don't push yourself to have to do that, but listen to your body. Do your best. So the other side of this is don't say, oh, because I'm this old, so I'm not going to be able to live this way. No, that's not true either. You still can make progress. You still can improve yourself. You still can hit new PRs even when you are aging. So keep doing things you can do, but listen to your body. Don't push yourself beyond your body telling you wisely, hey, this is good enough. So we just need to balance that. Keep living a healthy lifestyle. Don't give up because you're getting old or because you had an injury, you cannot do this, do that. Just do what you can, but don't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially love the part you mentioned about listen to your body. I think nowadays we are all so busy in our day to day. We are all in our head a lot, and we often neglect the signals that our body is sending us. And this often lead to exhaustion, sometimes burnout at workplace as well. Talking about burnout, I had experienced burnout myself because of a rise of reasons. And as a burnout coach now, I really aspire to support more people to prevent that from happening in the first place. I'm curious, you are a very famous and very effective leadership and executive coach. So what strategies and insight can you offer to our audience in terms of prevent burnout and living a healthy and fulfilling life?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Lynn. So I think the first is we need to have a foundation that properly understand ourselves. That include what you asked before, like what is our purpose, what is our calling, and also what is our value, what is important to us. then we have a blueprint for ourselves, our own roadmap. So lay out what is important for me, who do I want to become, what do I want to achieve, what is my plan, what is my goal, what is my roadmap going forward. And then when you come to daily actions, you can compare that to, okay, is this against my value? Is this not congruent with where I want to head to in my future? So we learn how to say no to things that is not what we want. I think that is the most important thing. It's knowing what you want. Then you can safeguard your time, your energy, and that will help you to prevent the burnout.
Totally. I, again, feel exactly the same as you mentioned about the importance of purpose and value. It's as if we are sailing on this big ocean that's busy with our day to day, but without a lighthouse, which is our value and purpose, we are completely lost. Of course, we can enjoy some beautiful scenery along the way, but without a direction and a purpose, oftentimes this could cause us feeling depleted, exhausted, and burnt out. I think this is exactly the moment for us to also reflect on our life purpose and value that are essential to our meaning of life. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
And to wrap up, I'm really curious, what exciting project and expectation do you have planned for the future?
Oh, there's many things because I want to empower as many people as I can. So I have a big ambition for my speaking career that I want to speak at a lot of the big conferences, events. So if anyone has any events, you know that I would love to be on the stage for you. And also my coaching program. Right now, I'm launching a new coaching program to help technical leaders to step into the strategic roles to help people who came from a more analytical engineering background to adopt strategic thinking, strategic planning skills to become a visionary leader in their career track.
Wow, amazing. I'd be curious to learn more about your coaching program. It would be very helpful for a lot of former colleagues of me and following you to the big conference and be at the live event and witness your sharing and your insight again. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn because that's where normally I share my speaking events or my coaching program. I'm going to announce a new coaching program very soon. So follow me on LinkedIn. My handle is Lei Wang, Leiwang. I joined LinkedIn very early, so I didn't have any numbers after my name, just my name, Lei Wang. That's my handle on LinkedIn. Or you can find me on my website, mightymouthspeaker.com, because I was always the smallest one on my team in any climbing trip. So I got the nickname Mighty Mouse, who can climb mountains. So my brand for speaking is mightymouthspeaker.com.
Thank you, Lei. I will leave your contact and your LinkedIn in the show note caption. And to end our conversation, I'd like to ask you one last question. If there is one piece of wisdom you want our audience to take away from this conversation, what would that be?
I would say, no matter what challenge you are facing, knowing someone else was able to overcome that. So don't let that hold you back. Focus on how you can solve it. And also knowing everything you are facing is not just you. You are not alone in this world. So reach out to other people. And if I reach out to Ling or to me, yeah, definitely feel free. We are here to help you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of audience will so much resonates with your message and your wisdom. Looking forward to have another conversation with you and see all the amazing achievement you will have in the future. And thank you so much for this conversation and all the best. And thank you again to join us at the Heritage Show.
Thank you, Ling. Thank you so much for this conversation. And thank you for everyone who are tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this incredible conversation with Lei Wang. I hope you're feeling inspired to push your own boundaries and pursue your unique path. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow The Heritage Show wherever you listen to the podcast, and share it with a friend who could use a little extra inspiration. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know who else you'd like me to have on the show for more empowering stories. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep pursuing what truly matters to you. Until next time.